right, here we go. We are converting whole equations now, entire equations into the other form. So if it has x and y in it, it's in rectangular form, and we're changing that to r and theta form. So with this, all we do is we just take our formulas for x and y, and we plug them in. So x would be r cosine theta, and then we have a minus 3 and squared, and then we have r cosine theta, and that thing would be squared, and that equals 9. So notice how we no longer have x and y in our formula at all. Everything is r's and thetas. So thank you for correcting my mistake. This should be r sine theta for the y value. Thank you. Okay, so now we can simplify this, whether we want to or not, I don't know, but oh well, let's do it anyway. So squaring this, I'm going to have r cosine theta. You don't have to write this all out if you don't want to. I just want to make sure everyone's clear on what I'm doing. Times r cosine theta minus 3. So I'm going to multiply this times this. So r squared cosine squared theta, and then we have a negative 3 and a negative 3, so it would be negative 6 r cosine theta, and then plus 9. All right, and then this part here would just be r squared sine squared theta. So then let's simplify this. So we have r squared cosine squared, and r squared sine squared. So let's put those together. Cosine squared theta plus r squared sine squared theta, which really is just r squared. I'm ignoring this for a second. Times cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta, which is what? Yeah, so that part turns into 1. Okay, now that we've skipped this other piece, let's put that in here. So minus 6r cosine theta. I left out the c for some reason, I don't know why. And then there's a plus 9, but there's a 9 on the other side as well. So what if we move that 9 over with that 9? We get 0. So that turned into 1, which leaves us with r squared. And then we have negative 6r cosine theta equals 0. So this might look better if we wrote it as r squared equals 6r cosine theta. And do we really need that r, that extra r in there on both sides, or could we divide both sides by r and end up with r equals 6 cosine theta? This is to help us with what we're doing in section 6.2. So yes. So what was this graph shape to begin with? Do you recognize this from Math 1050? It is a circle, yes. Ellipse. So this is a circle because x and y have the same coefficients. And then h would be positive 3 and k would be 0, and r is the square root of 9, which is 3. And so technically this circle would be 3, 0, radius 3. So it would be a circle that sits right there. So this equation, r equals 6 cosine theta, would give that same exact graph, just in polar coordinates. We're going to learn about that next time. Okay, moving on.